welcome back to another episode of Real Food Live. My name is Alina, and I'm a holistic nutritionist and your host for today, along with the wonderful Dr. Nadia Kumentis.
Hey guys, I'm a naturopathic doctor, and as usual, Alina will be feeding me today.
Yeah, that's basically the purpose of the show. We're just gonna feed her and make sure she also gives us a lot of good tidbits from her brain, all about the good health benefits of this food. So, before we get started, I'm gonna tell you why I love this recipe so much. So we're making chocolate avocado pudding today.
It's like music to my ears. I love pudding, I love avocados, I love chocolate.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
It's sinfully delicious, guys. And what's really great about it is, you know where I like to use this recipe?
Where?
Well, actually, who I like to use it
Who?
with is all those people who are very skeptical of healthy desserts. So I don't tell them it's made out of avocado.
This has fooled me. A good version of this has fooled me into thinking that it had heavy cream and like a ton of dairy products in it. And then my friend ended up telling me this is completely dairy-free, completely gluten-free, low sugar, and I was like, what?
Mind blown. And there's avocado in it, and you wouldn't even know.
No.
So that's what I like doing. It's very sneaky. I'm like, guess what? Avocado in that chocolate pudding. You had no idea. So keep that in mind. You may want to serve this to your friends who may be sort of skeptical, or just for yourself for a healthier treat.
Kids also love this recipe. My two cousins, my little cousins, love this recipe.
Yeah. So for all chocolate lovers out there, you are going to love this recipe. It's really, really easy. And because we love avocado so much as well, we are going to talk a little bit about some avocado hacks and tips and ways to use it today as well.
And I feel like there's a lot of floating questions out there. I think now everyone's pretty used to hearing, you know, avocados are so good for you, eat more avocados, but we're going to talk a little bit about why you should be eating avocados, maybe why you should not be eating too many avocados, and all the additional health benefits of the extra ingredients that are going into this.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you are making a chocolate avocado pudding, of course, you have to pick out avocados. Fun story for this recipe in itself. See, here's the thing with avocados. You have to find perfectly ripe avocados.
They're a finicky food.
Yeah, that's only the trouble with it. So I went to a few grocery stores nearby. They were all super green and hard, and I could not use them. So I had to go driving around yesterday trying to find ripe avocados for this show. But I found a whole bucket, so it's great.
And this is always the most frustrating for me because I'm a bit of a last-minute planner, especially when it comes to prepping meals for social gatherings. And I feel like 8 out of 10 times, I always want to make guacamole, and I go to the grocery store, and I'm always like, none of these are right. What do I do? How am I picking the right ones? So I'm so happy Alina is going to be going through the entire process.
For sure. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, guys, when you are getting it at a grocery store, so you can see here that this one is a bit darker. It's not like this bright green.
Right, it's like a dark chocolate brown almost.
Yeah, and it's sort of, it's like, it's firm, but not mushy, and it's not like super hard too. So you can sort of press in. You can nudge a little bit. See, you have to give it like a gentle squeeze.
So I've done this before where I'm too eager, and I'm like, I think it's soft, but really it's me pushing into the avocado.
You're just really strong.
Not the same. I do have a firm grip.
Be mushy.
Not the same. It should naturally give away when you put a little bit of pressure.
Yeah. And here's a really cool trick that I think some people know, maybe everyone may not know. You can use the stem to tell if it is ripe or not. So if it comes off easily, like this one just did, thank God. And see, look at that. Hopefully you guys can see that there. It is like a bright green, which means, yes, this is ready to eat. It's
ripe. And you literally just kind of like nudged it over.
I nudged it off. I did not have to like yank it out.
Which, if you think about that, guys, that most likely means that it was ready to fall from the tree and is ripe.
Exactly, exactly. And now, if it does come off, but it is still brown in texture, then it means it's going to be brown inside and be one of those gross avocados.
Had many of those as well.
It's a disaster.
It's a huge disaster.
And it's also a little bit of a risk too on a show when you're like going to slice open the avocados. You're like,
these are mystery avocados. So we're going to hope that they're right.
I have backup avocados in case. I bought a whole bucket. I bought a whole bucket of avocados. And then if it doesn't come off, guys, if the stem does not come off, then you know, okay, this is not ready to fall from the tree or whatever yet. So
do you guys have any additional tips on how to pick a ripe avocado? If we haven't mentioned any, we'd love to hear them. I know that there are a couple extra ones we're probably not mentioning. These are more of the well-known ones.
Exactly. So yeah, please let us know what works for you. And I think we forgot to mention too, Nadia, as always, is on the comments.
Yes.
So we will be responding to all your questions.
We're live for you guys. We're here for you. And the purpose of the show is to interact with you guys. So if you like what you're seeing, make sure to give us a little like or a share or some love. And if you have some questions or comments or any ideas of how you would change this recipe or what you would add, put them on in and I'll be happy to respond.
For sure.
The other thing I was going to ask Alina, because this is a big thing, we generally lean towards organic when we're buying any produce. What's your thoughts on organic avocados versus non-organic avocados? Because I always see them in the grocery store, the little tiny looking organic avocados
which
that
are much
always
more expensive.
So much more expensive versus the other non-organic avocados.
That is a really great question. So guys, when it comes to organic versus conventional, I know it can be a little hard sometimes to always opt for organic because it is expensive, right?
It can be significantly more expensive.
And you are trying to eat healthy on a budget as well. So you want to be smart about which things you are buying organic and which things you're just buying regular. Now, there is a guideline called the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. It's amazing. So you can just sort of put that on your phone, a screen grab, take it with you in your purse, however you want to. But the Clean 15 is essentially 15 produce items, your fruits and veggies that don't have as much pesticide residue in them. So you can probably buy them not organic. And then there's ones that are the Dirty Dozen, so things like your berries and apples, which have a lot of pesticide residue.
Thinner skin.
Yes, exactly. That's another key thing as well, which Nadia just mentioned. It's looking at the skin. So avocados have a very thick skin, similar to bananas.
Or like pineapples. When you guys think of a pineapple or a lemon or an avocado, it's quite thick. You're not just biting into it. I mean, you could try, and I've never personally tried.
Digestive issues.
But you think about that natural protective barrier and less absorption of pesticides and residues going into the fruit with a thicker produce, thicker skinned produce versus a thinner skin. Yeah,
exactly. So when it comes to avocados, I do buy non-organic just because it's cheaper and it's not making a huge difference since I'm eating the inside, which isn't as affected. So that's some good news there.
When I have bought organic avocados because they were the only ones that were ripe, the extra ones that I bought I had to use them almost within 24 hours or they were overripe very quickly, which I was very sad about.
God damn, it's so hard with avocados. Okay, so now we are going to get into how to actually slice and dice this thing. There's two main ways to actually break into this. So the first thing is you take a smaller knife like this, kind of like a paring knife, and you just work all the way around, and then you do a little twisty action.
We actually have a question.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
But first, look at this beautiful
avocado. Oh my gosh. It's almost like
perfection.
This is like a small victory.
It is.
Of how beautiful this is. I know.
It's gorgeous.
And I actually love the aesthetic of the inside because it's like a gradient of dark green into light green. Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's very nice. Sorry, there's a question.
Yeah, we had two questions actually. Really, really good questions. Lakin, hello Lakin.
Hi.
Thanks for tuning in. She's wondering, are there any tricks to speed up the ripening process if you are like myself and have some avocados and need them to ripen really quickly?
Yeah. Okay. So if you buy avocados that are not ripened yet, first of all, don't put them in the fridge because that delays the ripening process. You want to keep them outside. Two things that I like doing. One is actually putting it in a brown paper bag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that sort of just helps it ripen a little bit faster as well. And then there's certain fruits like bananas too.
Right, the ethylene, it's ethylene that comes off of bananas
that ripens it? Yeah, there's certain fruits. I always have bananas at home, so that's what I end up using. Just stuffing them right next to the bananas, keeping them in a brown paper bag as well. And just, those are the two things that I do.
Could you, this is a question off the top of my head. Knowing that we don't want to keep it in a cool environment, would it make a difference to keep it in a windowsill or in a warmer environment?
I think when it's warmer and there's a bit more moisture, that will help activate the ripening a little bit as well.
Okay, if you guys know anything about that or have any other tricks of your own, let us know because I'm actually really curious too.
Yeah, there's so many different tips out there. I feel like everyone has their own thing.
Yeah,
for me, that's what I usually do.
And the other question that we had is from Marianne. Hello, Marianne.
Hi, Marianne.
Thank you for tuning in and good morning. She's wondering, first of all, she loves avocados, which is awesome. And she's also wondering, what is the best way to store them? So this is most likely if they are ripe already or on their way and you're not in as big of a rush.
Okay.
Where do you keep your avocados?
So I'm going to go through the different, so for all the people watching who may be curious, because there's so many different storage methods based on if it's cut yet, if it's not cut, if it's ripe, if it's not ripe. And so let's say you have cut your ripe avocado.
As seen here.
As seen here, and you want to preserve, maybe you're using 1/2 and you want to use the other. So ideally, if you are using 1/2, keep the pit in on the other side or on the other half. And then you can just keep that in the fridge. You'll have to put it in the fridge once it's actually cut.
Okay.
So you can definitely do that.
Do you put like saran wrap in it? Can you just put it right in? What do you usually do?
I would like to put some saran wrap in it, again, to have more moisture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you don't want to dry it out.
Yeah, you don't want to dry it
you've
out.
taken away its natural protective barrier, so you want to give it a nice new little barrier.
Exactly.
Okay.
And now if it's chopped up, so maybe you had some for guacamole.
Right,
but
or
then
I
you didn't
had a
finish it off.
salad and I made too much and I didn't want to put all of it in.
Exactly. Then you would put some citrus sort of element on it. So some lime juice or some lemon. That will help preserve it. And I just learned this tip recently as well, is if it's chopped up, you can actually put a little bit of water on it as well and form a bit of a layer on top. That prevents it, I believe, from oxidizing as well.
I've heard this tip as well, especially if you have something that has a flatter surface. So say you have made guacamole, it was delicious, but you made a ton, so not everybody ate it all, and you have a little bit left. Smooth off the top, put a tiny bit of water, and it's almost like a natural saran wrap. Because of the oil content and the fat content of the guacamole, the water won't emulsify in.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Science.
Cool.
Science is cool. So that's if it's cut up, guys. If it is not cut up yet, again, ideally you just keep it outside, room temperature. And yeah, that's sort of what you do. But if you think it is going to get ripe, it's sort of ripe and you need it the next day and you don't want it to ripen further, then put it in the fridge. Right? So that's
slow
the
it
trick.
down. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's tricky. There's so many different storage tips based on is it cut? Is it not? Is it ripe? Is it not? So yeah. But do you have any other storage tips or
No,
hacks?
I don't.
Okay.
I am the same. I know that
Yeah.
if I do have bananas, or I'll move them away from bananas if I don't want them to ripen too quickly, or I will throw them in the fridge if that's the case. But
okay, cool. And if you guys have more ideas, please let me know. So now what we're going to do, now that it's actually cut up, so there's 2 ways to scoop. So you're going to take out the pit actually first.
Okay.
I'm not going to do the one that's a little bit more skilled and slightly dangerous if you're clumsy like me.
Okay.
So a great
the hack and twist.
Yeah, I've seen so many people where you take the knife and you just like hack it in and then you can pull it out. But I'm clumsy, so I opt for the safer version.
Okay.
Which is a spoon. So you can just sort of dig around it. So make sort of like little indentations. There you go. And then you scoop it out. It's nice and easy. But if you feel like being a little, more wild, use a knife.
Living life on the edge, if you will. Edge of a knife.
So okay, now you've taken the pit out. And then what you're going to do with your small knife is, so I'm going to show you 2 different ways.
Okay.
One way, which I like doing because it makes me feel fancier too.
Ooh, I like doing this, especially if I have a salad.
Yeah, it looks really nice. This is very nice, like aesthetically, right? Yeah. This is what you see restaurants do as well a lot of the time. You just sort of make vertical lines and score it, and then you score it the other way too to make nice little cubes.
Have you seen the avocado roses that have been really popular?
I have, and I am not yet skilled enough to do that. I was deciding whether to try and do that for today's show, and it looked like a bit of a mess.
They're really pretty, and I think
they're
it's just
gorgeous.
It's all about thinly slicing and then moving it in a circle.
Yeah,
and it is largely dependent on the ripeness of the avocado to make sure that it's not too mushy. So
exactly.
Props to those who can execute that well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And one day maybe we'll be showing this to you on Real Food Live.
We can try. We can try.
Might just be fun. So as you can see,
Beautiful.
I squeezed it out now. They look like nice little cubes.
Yeah.
And now the other way to do it, which may not be as aesthetically pleasing, but it's also super easy to do, and you don't have to touch knives. You can use a spoon and just sort of score around the edges.
Okay.
And just scoop it out.
Nice.
And that's just it. You're just scooping it out, and it just comes out all in one big go. Oh,
perfect.
Oh, look at that. Perfect. Perfection.
The other thing, so sometimes when I'm making an omelet or like a dish where I want small slices of avocado on the side, you can do it, I've done it lengthwise.
Yeah.
So where you're cutting this way and then almost like a pizza slice and then taking it off and then just removing the skin from the outside and laying it. Yeah.
That's really cool.
And then that way too, I find my avocado keeps if I'm only taking 3 slices for a meal. Less surface area is showing than if I were to cut it, I guess, horizontally. Vertically? Horizontally.
One of them.
Scored through the middle. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So now what we're going to do, so this is the start of the recipe, guys, for the chocolate avocado pudding. You do want 3 avocados that are ripe.
Full avocados. So how many servings is this going to make?
So you know what? It can be kind of as many servings as you want it to be.
Oh, don't tell me that. I have no self-control.
I'll give you boundaries. Let me give you some boundaries.
Okay.
Between 2 to 4 people.
Okay.
I would say.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. You're gonna feel so satiated anyway when you're eating. It's hard. Like I was so excited when I was testing this at home. And, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to eat so much.
Yeah.
I had like a few spoons and like, I'm full.
Yeah, well,
I can't have more.
This is what I love about avocados, and for especially people who are looking actually to lose weight. Avocados are a great tool to help you feel more satisfied. So you actually end up eating a lot less. And Alina, do you want to talk a little bit about the properties of avocados and why that happens?
Okay, so when it comes to avocados, guys, they actually have a lot of fiber in it. I didn't realize how much.
I didn't either, because you think it's mushy.
Yeah.
So you're like, there's no fiber in this. I think fiber is like wheat bran.
Yeah, you always think of like cereals and all of those things for fiber, whole grains. But this actually has around 40% of your daily intake of fiber. So this will really keep you full. It's good for your gut health. It's going to balance your blood sugar levels as well. And there is also obviously our good fats in there.
Right.
So all fats, by the way, we do believe anything that is a natural fat, like unsaturated, polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, saturated, they're all good for you in certain amounts, right? It's just the trans fats that we sort of want to stay away from, which are more the man-made ones. And this has a lot of monounsaturated fat, which is the very heart-healthy one as well. That's common in olive oil and in the Mediterranean diet.
Yeah, which has actually shown to lower cholesterol levels, which is pretty awesome. And as we know, fats as a whole are very satiating. So not only do you have the added benefit of fiber, which helps you feel full, the fat content is also going to help you feel full. So first of all, in a dessert, I love that, because when you have a dessert that's rich and delicious and actually ends up not needing, you don't need a ton of it to feel like satisfied. Yeah. That is amazing for me.
It is.
Yeah.
And you know what? Avocados too, guys, they are so amazing for your skin health.
They are.
Because of the good fats.
They are. Skin and hair.
Yes.
Skin, hair, and nails.
Yeah. All the
all the good things, which are things you want to, your skin, hair, and nails are often, and this is what I tell my clients, they are a window to what's going on in the inside. So if you have noticed major skin changes, if you've noticed your hair has become more brittle, or you're losing more hair than usual, you've noticed your nails have become more brittle or are breaking off, etc. Often that might mean or be indicative of nutrient deficiency, an iron deficiency, or something else that's going on that needs to be checked out.
Yeah. And so it's not only the good fat component too, which is amazing for these things, it's also certain nutrients like vitamin C, which helps collagen production, right? Vitamin E as well is again really good for that moisture in your skin and for strong nails. So avocados, guys, just so many benefits.
Believe the hype. Believe the hype. Sometimes there's ingredients that hit the market that you guys are like, oh, there's, everyone's talking about this crazy new ingredient. This one actually is amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. So now that we've cut up all of the avocado.
Beautiful, they're all so ripe.
Right. I know. Thank God.
Okay, 3 full avocados.
Yes. Now, before we actually even get to the recipe, I wanted to show you guys how to use the entire whole avocado and not waste the pits and the peel. Because most of us
so you can
usually
use
throw them away.
these.
You can use these, but not for ingestion. Now, I wouldn't recommend like eating the peel or eating the pit, which we're going to talk about a little bit in more detail too.
Eat a peel, and I did not want to eat a peel.
Delicious peels, Nadia.
Okay.
No. So what you can do, and this is really cool, guys, you can just take the skin and flip it inside out. And then you can use this as a natural exfoliator.
No way.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. So, I see we have a volunteer. So how does that feel, Nadia?
It's so nice.
So soft.
I actually don't feel exfoliation right now, though.
Yeah. I think it's because there's a lot of this green stuff still on there, so usually people scrape a bit more off.
And then it's gritty underneath.
It's a little bit grittier. So,
and the
but
more
it's very
ripe they are, the more ripe they are, the grittier it is too, I believe, right?
Yeah. So it's going to be it's very mild, the exfoliating action, but more than anything too, you're getting all those beneficial nutrients and those good fats.
Moisturizing fats.
It's just, exactly.
One of my favorite face masks is an avocado honey face mask. Fantastic.
Exactly. It's amazing. And that's why so many people use avocados for their homemade skincare products too, right? And you have avocado oil that you use as well. There's so many good fats. So how you would actually use this is you rub this on your face, look like a little bit of a green zombie for a few minutes.
And you can actually, and if you are exfoliating, you can do small circular motions in different areas of your face.
Perfect.
And when you do that too with a little bit of pressure, you actually increase blood flow and circulation to increase cellular turnover, which is a key fountain of youth.
This is a fountain of youth, guys.
Fountain of youth!
We've just branded this, fountain of youth. So yeah, just put it on for around 5 minutes in circular motions, as Nadia explained, and then you can rinse it off with lukewarm water very gently, and your skin's just gonna feel a bit softer afterwards.
Nice.
Softer and glowy.
Nice.
Look at your hand, glowing.
Glowing.
Glowing hands. So that's what you can do with the peel, guys, whenever you do use an avocado. Yeah, it's a nice little skincare tip. And now when it comes to the pit, so we want to talk a little bit about this sort of controversy around eating avocado seeds as well.
Yeah, this was new to me. I heard recently that it's kind of been a new thing where people are adding the actual avocado seed to smoothies and different things.
Yeah, so there's a lot of videos online you may see or blog posts that may say, you know what, take out the avocado seed and just hammer it down and then put it into a blender and use it for your smoothies or, you know, use it as a topping for like salads and soups. The only issue there is that while we love the avocado, just because something is natural doesn't mean it is perfectly safe to ingest. So right now the safety for eating the seed has not been established.
Right.
And it actually contains something called tannins, which are mildly toxic. So it could kind of disturb your digestion.
Tannins you guys can find in like black tea, for example, is higher in tannins.
Yeah.
And green tea can have tannin content as well. So anybody who has found that they have a cup of green tea on an empty stomach and it irritates them a little bit, that is a sign that, because basically what tannins do, and you can think about leather tanners, right? They use tannins on the skin to dry and create almost this astringent effect.
Exactly.
So absolutely, that could be irritating.
Yeah, and I believe it does have quite a higher content as well, maybe than those other items as well. So that's why.
And I feel that there's better nutrient-rich ingredients that you could use to be adding to your salads or smoothies.
Exactly.
Like nuts.
Yeah. Just do that, and it's safer, right?
Yeah.
And just use the avocado in itself, the flesh, that has like amazing nutrients, so don't worry too much about the seed. But what you can do, which I'm going to show you now as well, is you can actually dry out your avocado seed.
Because these look very dry.
Aha, I will tell you exactly how this happened. So you can dry it out in 2 ways. The first way you can dry it out is by leaving it just on your windowsill or outside for like 3 to 5 days. Actually, just your countertop is probably fine.
I have a cat, and I feel like if I left it on my countertop, he would just be like,
eat it all. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then play around, and I would never find it.
These new little ball play toy thing. So either you can dry it out, let that way, or you can actually just put it in the oven.
Oh.
I put it at 200 degrees Fahrenheit in the oven for around 2 hours. So low temperature, you're just letting it sort of dehydrate. And then what's going to happen, so if you look at the difference here, is that this one actually doesn't have that skin around it yet. It's very moist. And then once you've dried it out, there's like this little skin that just like...
I've never seen it dry. Why do we care if it's dried?
So when you grind it into a powder, you actually can, basically.
Okay.
So if you try to grind this immediately down into a powder,
There's too much moisture.
It's too much moisture. So it's going to be like soggy slush.
Okay.
You want it to actually be super dry. And the reason you want to do this, guys, is again for skincare. You can grind this down into, okay, I'm going to try to do this, into a little powder.
Oh my gosh, don't hurt yourself.
No, I didn't. Ta-da!
Ooh.
I did not hurt myself. Look
I
at that.
have never seen
the
the
inside
middle
of an avocado
of
seed.
an
That's what it
avocado
looks
pit.
like.
Okay.
Okay, and then you're just going to break this into smaller pieces and put it into like a spice grinder or coffee grinder, and then you can make it into a powder.
Oh.
And that is what you can do. And then you can mix it into your favorite moisturizer and use it as an exfoliating cleanser as well, like a cream-based cleanser with like little micro beads kind of.
Okay.
Know what I mean?
So you're just creating, so I'm a bit of a skincare junkie. And anytime you guys are doing any sort of exfoliation, there's two types of exfoliators, a chemical exfoliator, like an AHA or a BHA, or a mechanical exfoliator, which is something that's physically rough and taking off dead skin cells. You want to be careful with both because over exfoliating can be really irritating to your skin, but a regular routine of, you know, it depends on your skin and how sensitive it is. I exfoliate 3 times a week, for example, with a combination of both.
How much is too much then for exfoliation?
To me, if you notice any sort of irritation the next day, I'd scale back. So again, this is totally dependent on your skin. Vitamin C is an amazing natural collagen builder, brightener, and exfoliator. I use that daily. I also had to work up to using it daily, and now my skin is used to that. But to start, you always can start on the
like a
inside of your,
test.
Exactly, a patch test on the inside of your wrist to see if you get irritation. So with this guy, say you create a little batch, how long would you say that the shelf life would be?
You know what? Since it's a dried powder, I think, if you end up using it up in hopefully a couple of weeks. Like, I wouldn't want to do more than a couple of weeks with this. Just because it is a natural product.
It's
and
a
I
live
feel like
fruit,
Yeah, and you're going to end up using it anyway, probably.
So you'd want to make it in small batches, maybe refrigerated as well, which would be helpful to keep the shelf life.
For sure.
But you could start by using it every 2 days and see how that goes.
So now you have skincare products. Look at that.
Yeah.
Not every time you make guac or something, you can also just rub the peel on, also make an exfoliating cleanser.
That's awesome.
It's great. Just don't eat the pits. Okay.
Don't eat the pits.
So I am going to grind that up, but I will get to that when we're actually blending our chocolate avocado pudding as well.
Okay.
So.
Right. So we've got our 3 full avocados over here, ready to be blended into a nice creamy mixture.
Oh, and this is very important. Do try to use a food processor over a blender if possible.
Okay.
You can use both. Both do work. It's just I find for things like dips and puddings, like if you're making hummus as well, food processors are better because the texture is just a little bit thicker and chunkier. Because when you have a very, very strong blender, sometimes it just turns into like a very liquidy sauce.
Emulsified sauce.
Yeah, it's just like a liquid you're eating versus a pudding.
Right.
So,
because you're not trying to liquefy this.
No, I'm just trying to get it to a smooth, chunky paste.
Got it.
In a way.
Smooth, chunky
that
paste.
Was
Did you
paradoxical.
Get that?
Fine, it's smooth. But thick. Thick is the word I'm looking for. Okay, so we're added in the avocados.
Okay.
Next, we're going to add in a little bit more good fat. So we're going to add in some coconut milk.
Okay.
Okay. So I do like to use the organic canned full-fat coconut milk.
Perfect.
With this. This one is a little bit lighter. You can use the light version or the full-fat one.
And how much, what was the serving size of that?
The serving size of this, I believe, was around 6 tablespoons.
Okay.
So this was, you can do 3 to 6, but I like adding a little bit more.
It adds a nice flavor too, doesn't it? Like a little bit of sweetness?
Yeah,
okay.
It does. So just added that in over there.
Okay, so we've got additional healthy fats going in.
And now we're gonna add in beautiful 1/4 cup of raw cacao powder.
Yum.
It is just basically pure chocolate from the cacao beans, unroasted.
So we've got antioxidants, we've got mood boosting, we've got a little bit of magnesium, which is also relaxing and mood boosting and good for your muscles.
And now we want to make a distinction too between raw cacao versus cocoa.
Right.
That sometimes you find in the baking aisle at a supermarket.
Yeah.
So the main difference is just how it's processed. There's a reason this one is called raw cacao. It's because it hasn't been heated at high temperatures.
Right.
So you're still retaining all of those like live enzymes and nutrients in there, which is what makes it so great. And sometimes when you have the other like Dutch processed cacao, it's a bit more bitter tasting.
Yeah.
And also just you've killed off some of those beneficial enzymes.
And often it can look darker too. So I often find a cacao, for example, is a lighter color.
You're right.
Yeah.
Totally right about that. Next, we want to put in, smell it.
Oh, organic vanilla. Honestly, there's huge difference between organic vanilla and non-organic vanilla.
Do tell, Nadia.
Always go for organic. It's actually coming from the vanilla plant. It has a completely different flavor profile, whereas artificial vanilla sometimes doesn't even contain full plant product.
And it's usually mixed in with other things like sugar and a lot of other extracts.
Yeah, it's like artificial flavoring often too, which is, you don't want that.
You can smell the difference.
You're better than that. You're better than artificial
the Hearty
vanilla.
Soul is better than this. So that was a teaspoon. You can add in a bit more if you want. Again, with all of these ingredients, guys, you can just play around with it too.
So you don't need to be too precise with this.
No.
This is my kind of recipe.
You can't mess it up.
I am not a baker, so this is amazing.
This is perfect. So a teaspoon of vanilla. Now I'm adding in around 2 teaspoons of more good fats, the coconut oil.
Yum. Okay, so we've got the coconut milk and the coconut oil.
Yeah, just to give it that little hint of that taste of coconut, right? That little creaminess. So just add that in.
We do have a question.
Oh, we do have a question.
Yes.
Okay, what is the question?
Emma.
Hi, Emma.
Hi, Emma. Thanks for tuning in. She is wondering how almond milk or cashew milk would taste in the place of the coconut milk. That's a great question.
You know what? It would. I've done it before. I have used almond milk, and it tastes fine. It's great. It's just it's going to be a little less creamy.
Okay.
A little less thicker, right? It's more liquidy versus a full fat coconut milk.
Right, because the fat content of those are going to be a lot lower than the coconut milk.
Yeah, so maybe you want to add in a little bit more oil or avocado just to balance it out. But it should work fine as well if you just wanted to do that substitute.
Yeah, I feel like I would lean towards cashew.
Yeah, it's a bit creamier,
It's a bit creamier, and it would mimic the coconut milk a little bit more, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. So
look at this delicious mixture we have going on here.
I know.
Okay.
So now that we have everything in here, I actually have a little secret touch I like to add to. The secret touch.
Oh, yes.
Just a little bit of sea salt.
Perfect.
As well.
Because this is really going to bring out, anytime you have a sweetness, especially with chocolate recipes, I find, a little bit of salt. Don't overdo the salt.
No.
I have made this fatal error where I'm like, this is going to bring out the flavor.
Sea salt chocolate.
And then I have salt bombs in my mouth. It's awful. So just a touch of sea salt.
A little touch
goes a long way.
Especially with dark chocolate. So good.
Yes.
So I am going to blend this now, guys.
Okay.
And in the meantime, we actually took to the streets of Toronto. And we asked people what they thought about avocados.
Ooh!
And their favorite ways to use it, some, questions that they have around it as well. So tune in and watch that while we blend away for a couple of minutes.
We'll be right back. I'm so excited for this.
The benefits of avocado, it's good for your liver.
People want to do avocado mask to help with the face. They can put avocado oil in their hair.
It's one of the best ways to get a healthy fat that I know of.
How to store avocados. I'm unsure of the best way to do so.
Keep in a cool place when they're ripe, and to actually get them to ripe, the best way to store them is to put them on top of the fridge.
I know to put lemon juice on them to help with not turning them brown.
I put them inside of a Ziploc, and then I put them inside the fridge. That's what I do.
My favorite avocado dish is, hands down, guacamole.
My favorite avocado dish would be avocado toast, obviously.
Put them inside of a blender, mixed with almond milk, blend it, and that could be a milkshake.
I actually developed a new recipe the other day, which is like avocado pasta, mixing it with like garlic, lemon juice. Surprisingly, it was really good.
Do I know any cool hacks or tips when it comes to avocados?
I think one of the coolest hacks is the way to know when an avocado is ready is if that you move the pit and it comes off easily, that means that it's ready to go.
I like the one where you kind of cut it around the middle and then you pick it up and give it a little twist and then they separate. You have one half left that you want to use another time. You leave the pit in the avocado and that keeps it fresh.
Just eat them. That's the hack, right? Just eat them.
Hello,
Hello,
welcome back.
welcome back.
We hoped you enjoyed watching that and seeing how passionate people are about avocados.
People really love avocados, and for good reason.
Yeah.
We
right?
actually had, I noticed a couple questions just about the total
Oh.
ingredients that were used before salt.
Okay.
Everything is listed actually in the description of this video with the full recipe and steps.
Yeah.
But just a quick review, we had 3 full avocados that were ripe and delicious. We
Yeah.
did a little bit of coconut milk.
We did around 6 tablespoons,
6 tablespoons of coconut milk. We did a little bit of organic vanilla.
1 teaspoon,
We did a little bit of actual coconut oil.
2 teaspoons,
We did our raw cacao.
1/4 cup. Or you can do a bit more too
Oh,
of it.
okay.
Yeah. Sorry, did you do all the ingredients?
No, I don't
Yes,
think we did the honey.
Oh, and the honey, sorry.
And raw honey.
2 tablespoons
Okay.
of the raw honey.
And then a little bit of salt. And
Yeah.
that was it. Pretty easy, actually.
It's very, very easy.
Oh,
Super
and this
fast.
is looking fantastic.
It also smells
It smells
amazing.
really
It smells
chocolatey
really,
and
really
really
good.
delicious.
So, guys, like I said before, you can play around with this. If you are someone who likes a little bit more sweetness, you can add in a bit more sweetener to this. If you are vegan and you don't want the raw honey, add in some maple syrup. It works perfectly fine.
Okay.
If you want a little bit more dense chocolatey flavor,
I want more dense chocolate flavor.
I would usually add in around 2 more tablespoons to this recipe because I'm just a bit more of a chocolate fiend and I
Okay.
like the 80% dark chocolate.
Same.
You can add in some more.
Okay.
So now what we're gonna do is
This is my
actually,
favorite part of the show.
before we do this, I did not want to forget. I wanted to show you guys what the powder sort of looks like.
Oh.
This is what the avocado powder
This is
looks
the
like.
avocado. So this was the dried
Yeah.
pit.
Yeah.
We have finely grounded this down, and as Alina had mentioned, you can put this in a little bit of moisturizer and
Yeah.
actually use it as a gentle exfoliant.
Yeah. And don't worry if you see it go a little orange. That's because it's oxidizing.
Okay.
So it just kind of changes
It
color.
smells like nutmeg.
I know.
And I thought it was nutmeg, and I thought you were going to put that on top of the pudding.
Oh.
But I wasn't paying attention,
No,
obviously. So
it's all
no,
good.
We're not eating the pit.
No. But what we are going to do now is start scooping this out so you can see this texture. Look at how nice that
it
is.
looks like chocolate pudding.
It is. It's like chocolate pudding. So what you can do as well is just feel free to add in different toppings. I like adding a little hemp seeds.
Ooh, hemp
Some more good
seeds.
fats. Some
Good
more
fats.
good omega-3.
And protein.
Definitely. You can add in some berries, some nuts and seeds to
I was
it.
just going to say, I would love almost a chopped hazelnut.
It'd be like
in it.
Nutella.
Yes. Because to give it a little bit of texture, I feel like that would be
Yes.
really, really good.
That would actually be delicious. For
Yeah.
Nutella lovers out there, some hazelnuts or roasted hazelnuts.
Do you guys have any
Amazing.
additional ingredients you think that would go well with this? I'm also thinking of fruits that pair well with chocolate, like strawberries
love
and
raspberries.
raspberries. Yeah.
I would do that. So what I'm actually going to do today too is add in, again, this is for the people who are more wild like us. out there. I like adding some chili as well too. It's kind of got that Mexican hint too. You know how
Okay.
you have like spiced Mexican hot chocolate?
Yeah, authentic Mexican hot chocolate has like a
You
nice
can do
amount
the
of
same.
heat.
So you can add in a little bit of spicy kick with this.
Oh,
And you have the
beautiful.
sea salt. And there we go, guys.
This looks
It looks
amazing.
gorgeous. And now we can bite in. Here's your spoon. I will get
Yum.
myself a clean spoon.
Thank you. This
No
one has more in
problem.
it, and I'm gonna take the one with more in it because I'm like that.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. to
Okay,
pudding.
here we go.
Okay, together.
Together. Oh wow.
This is really good. It's so chocolatey.
And actually, it has a hint of the coconut, which is really, really nice. Oh,
I'm
that is
loving the
really
little
good.
chili kick. It's so nice. It's a little flavor kick at the end.
I'm actually spice sensitive, and this is not bothering me. It's only making me happy. So
Only making you happy as chocolate would.
this is delicious.
So guys, and this is such a small amount, I feel
Yeah.
like this would even be satiating. And you have a whole amount here. So like I said, from 2 servings to 4 to 6 to 8, depending on how much you really want to eat
Yeah.
of this.
And how long will this last? So say I've made this for myself alone.
Serving
And
one.
Serving one, and I'm being very good, and I'm getting very full because of all the beautiful fats and fiber in it.
Yeah.
How long will this last in the fridge?
Okay, so because I would think of it as how long would you want to keep a raw avocado in the fridge? Because this is a raw recipe, right? It's not baked. When something is baked, you can keep it a little bit longer. But since you have that raw fruit ingredient in here, I would keep it just for a couple of days.
Okay.
I have never kept this beyond,
Not
say,
a
a week
problem.
at the max.
I'll just eat it the next day.
So
no
it's-
big deal.
Exactly. Good to make in a little bit of a bigger batch for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I'd say 2 to 3 days. That's like an ideal. Yeah. I believe we have a question, and it's done. And you want more. In the meantime, I think we have a question as I give you more, Nadia.
Okay, yeah, so we just, there was an ingredient she was adding while answering the alternative milk ingredient, Beth. So I'm not quite sure what that was, but again, the full recipe is listed in the description on the bottom in case you wanted to go back and see everything that we put in here.
And don't worry, it is a live feed, but once it's over, you can just go right back as well and rewatch it.
Yeah, if you guys have
Yeah.
missed any of these amazing real food live cooking shows, they're all stored in the video section. So you can go back and rewatch them as many times as you like.
Over and over.
Over and over again.
So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Thank you, Nadia, for
A
making
pleasure.
this so much more fun.
A
and
pleasure.
A pleasure to be eating all your pudding. Thanks so much, guys. We'll be back here again next week, 10 a.m. EST. See you next time.
Bye, guys. And
Thank
if you
you.
enjoyed this and made it, let us know how it went.
Yes.
Post pictures. We want to see them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.